Hi everyone. So the next interesting topic we are covering is interceptors. I mean, in the last video we covered exception filters. Exception filter or interceptor दोनों अलग-अलग है. They are totally different. Exceptions deals with exceptions. Interceptor deals with intercepting the request before sending it to the controller. And when the request is coming back, then we can also intercept it before sending the request to the client. Right? Response to the client. Request, put an interceptor, go to the controller. Controller handle with that, and now we are sending it back. So first I will put this interceptor in between. Interceptor will do its logic, and then we will send it to the this response to the client. Okay, so this is how the interceptor will work. Let's see what is the interceptor doing in the NestJS. An important thing, these concepts kind of related to the Java world, because earlier I remember with the Spring Hibernate I have used aspect oriented programming, where something I want to do before processing the request or after processing the request, pre and post. These were called hooks, but now we just give a different name like interceptors. वही Axios interceptor आपने नाम सुना होगा. So same thing we are doing here. This is aspect oriented programming. Doing some side effect on top of request and response is the interceptors. So let's understand this thing with example. I mean, overall we don't use the interceptors much. If you have done some NestJS, then you might have used file interceptor while doing a file upload, because file upload has a lots of things which NestJS does internally before file comes to the controller, because every framework or every thing deals with the file upload differently, right? So let's talk about simple example here. What we are going to do is, there is an interceptor folder, we'll create one. Simple interceptor.ts, and then we'll write an example inside this. Okay, so what the interceptor will do, interceptors particularly, like sometimes people also get confused what is interceptor and what is middleware. They both look kind of similar, but middleware doesn't do anything while sending the response. Middleware comes first in the request lifecycle. It checks for authentication, authorization, or whatever, and then it sends your request using next, and then it just sleeps, right? It doesn't do anything after that. So interceptors are playing with the request object. Let's see one simple example. I am not saying that you will be able to understand it completely, because this example I'm getting it from my snippets. And इसके अंदर क्या है? It is implementing nest interceptor, because it's interceptor, and then you need to write an intercept method. Interceptor allows you to perform or manipulate the request, right? So here what I'm doing is, you see, request body.name. I got the request body using context.request get request.body as name and string. I also typecast it. The request body contains the name. If length less than equal to 7, bad request exception. I mean, I will never do it here, because we have a validation pipe for doing all these things. But sometimes you wanted to transform the input payload properties. That facility is here. So response body.name, I'm trying to convert it into uppercase, right? That you cannot do with any other thing in the NestJS. Interceptors, intercept the request, transform it, or whatever the manipulation you want to do before sending it to the controller. The controller will send the response back, and then we can handle the response using interceptor. So we can play with the request and response both. And this is the demo interceptor, just increasing, I mean, just making it uppercase. So I think we have a task controller. I can just use the task name. Going to the module DTO, I think we have a name property somewhere. Yeah, name property in the create task DTO. So on create method, we can add this interceptor, right? So let's say task interceptor. Okay, now there are three different ways to register the interceptors, either at a controller level or either at a route level, right? So we can use this using use interceptor. One important thing कि NestJS में terminology भी same है. Use pipe, use guard, use interceptor, use filters, use pipes, right? एक तेरे कोड लिखने में इतना इशू नहीं होता. You understand all the terminologies which it is providing. Post, so use interceptor, और हम यहाँ पे ऐड कर देंगे task interceptor. Task interceptor, use interceptor. Let's import this. So this interceptor is applied on this create task DTO. Now we can also try play with this. I mean, in the payload, the name should be uppercase automatically. So here first provide some token, dummy token, and then call the create task method. So here, let's say I'm passing the name. Let's say hello, and it is giving 400. I know why it is giving, because name is of less than 7 character, and we have this rule here. If you see bad request exception, name should be at least 8 character long, right? So first of all, let's fix this by just adding one more characters, and you can see it is uppercase automatically because this interceptor is doing its job, right? And but another thing which I want to fix is, let's say I'm doing this, I will get confused what this 400 means. 400 is bad request, but where it is coming from, what is the wrong with my API, how should I fix? I need to fix it with the exception filters. So here we can talk about both. Interceptor is clear now, how the interceptor is being applied. I mean, you can apply this at the controller, use interceptor, or you can apply it at the whole controller level or at a route level, use interceptor. So I will just remove it from here, or you can apply it at the global level in the main.ts. There are always 3 options. So we can do is app.use global interceptor and new task interceptor. Simple. This is how you can register it at globally, controller level, or at the route level. So we registered it globally for now, so I will remove it from the controller, and you can keep it, there won't be any issue. Yes. Now let's try to make this exception more clear. So here we are getting response.status, right? What else I can extract from this? So status, can I get a message? Get response. I will try to print the whole response object. Let's see what it contains. From there we can extract. It should be most probably have a stack trace. What just happened? Okay, it is serialized. It is circular JSON, right? From response, you need to extract only particular thing. Response.data. The response is of type express response. I'm just playing with this. Let's see what result we are getting. Okay, we are not getting anything. So let me extract more about it. So here you can do a simple check that here you can see name should be of at least 8 character long. Then I will understand, okay, this is coming from interceptor. I will go and fix it, either remove the exception, because in the exception filters, it's not really needed. We can do this on the validation side. But this is how you can actually make more message meaningful, right? Add a message that would be coming from exception.message. Okay, if it is an instance of HTTP exception. Otherwise, you can just add internal server error or some other error messages. So now if I try, I'm getting this HELL. I mean, now I have removed that validation. So this is all about exception filters or interceptors both. Here comes all the building blocks, and now we will start working on this authentication app, and we will learn from building this, all the database integrations, all the concepts we will learn by doing.